Welcome on back to Skipper's Day. I have 4 must-add players for your fantasy baseball teams in Week 7. Today's video is once again sponsored by So Rare MLB. Do not forget to subscribe, join the Discord. Let's get into the 4 players. First one is Miguel Vargas of the Dodgers. He is 43% rostered so far this season. He's hitting 220, 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and a weighted runs created plus of 111. Although he has been fairly unlucky, according to StatCast, Vargas has a slash line that reads 220, 344, 413, which is pretty solid. That OBP is helped out by a walk rate that is in the 93rd percentile and a chase rate in the 94th percentile. He only has 9 hits the past 2 weeks, but 3 of those are home runs. Most people are going to think that James Outman is the huge rookie breakout on the Dodgers right now, but Vargas has flown under the radar and is starting to produce out of the 6-hole. Vargas has an expected batting average of 264, an expected slug of 434, and an expected damage of 382. Vargas has dropped his strikeout rate by 7 points and is only hitting 136 against 4-seam fastballs so far this season. My general thought for these prospects and guys who are kind of bad at hitting fastballs is, as long as they can handle some velo, they do it often, I think it's going to have some positive regression, and they're not going to end up hitting 136 against 4-seam fastballs by the end of the season. You look at a guy like George Springer, too. He's hitting horrible against fastballs this season. It's just how things are going right now. I think as soon as the positive regression hits on his batting average against fastballs, then you'll see the batting average tick up, and it won't look so bad at 220 anymore. Vargas' zone contact percentage has gone from 77.6% last year to 81.7% this year. Though he's only hit 7 home runs, there are some parks where Vargas would have up to 7 home runs. His rolling xWOBA chart has him above league average over his last 25 plate appearances. It's not the prettiest ad, but I think Vargas still has that immense upside that we kind of saw go away start of the season. You were down on him, and now we're starting to see it again come back. Second player this week is going to be Will Smith of the Rangers. He's 51% rostered on the season. He's 0-2, a 3.46 ERA. In his 13 innings pitch, he has 15 strikeouts, 5 saves, and 4 holds. Will Smith has solidified himself as the Rangers closer and someone you could pick up to help if you need saves on the back end of your fantasy team. Again, his 13 appearances, he has 9 saves and holds in those outings, which, if you're in a saves and hold league like I am, is someone you really need to be picking up. He has spent some time closing for Bruce Bochy in the past, so Bochy is pretty comfortable having him in that role. And then Bochy gave him the role last week. Immediately, he had a 3-run meltdown in an inning, but after that, he struck out the side in a save opportunity on Monday. You want back-end guys who are going to be able to get swing and miss stuff, and Will Smith does that with his slider. The slider returns a run value of -5 so far this season and has a batting average against of only 107. Smith has an expected ERA in the 88th percentile, expected slug in the 83rd percentile, barrel percentage in the 89th percentile, and a chase rate in the 89th percentile. The way the Rangers are playing right now makes this one of the better pickups if you need help in the saves department. Today's video is brought to you by So Rare MLB. On So Rare MLB, you can build a fantasy baseball dynasty and win amazing rewards with So Rare's revolutionary fantasy MLB game. This game transforms baseball fans into general managers. Visit the marketplace to buy, sell, and trade digital player cards to boost your team and progress to advanced competitions with once-in-a-lifetime prizes like merch, game tickets, and VIP packages. So Rare is a free-to-play daily fantasy game where you score points based on the real-life performance of the players in your lineup. When you first sign up for So Rare MLB, you'll get to draft 10 common cards to begin your collection. You'll need to draft 3 starters, a relief pitcher, 2 corner infielders, 2 middle infielders, and 2 outfielders. You're able to enter into modified points league-based tournaments for each game week, where you're able to win prizes determined by how many points your roster scores. So Rare MLB uses a bi-weekly tournament schedule with each game week spanning a 3 to 4 day cycle. At the end of the game week, if your team performed well enough in your tournaments, you'll earn rewards in the form of new So Rare MLB cards to add to your collection and strengthen your team for the next tournaments. Make sure you click the link in our bio to start playing So Rare MLB today. Third player this week is Francisco Alvarez of the Mets. He's 13% rostered on the season. He's hitting 241, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in, a 725 OPS, and his weighted runs created plus is right at league average, sitting at 100. The 21-year-old backstop of the future for the Mets made his presence known with 2 home run game last night in Cincinnati. Alvarez has incredible pull side power, which was shown in his 27 home runs in just over 100 games in the minors last season. Alvarez is already in the top 7% of the league in max exit velocity. He's ranked in the top 10% of catchers in framing, which is going to keep him on the field for a lot more appearances if he's going to be that solid defensively. Over his last 12 games, he's hitting 323, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in, 6 runs scored, and a 1074 OPS. Alvarez has been hitting in the 9-hole, but that's where they've just been slotting in their catchers thanks to Thomas Nido. Nido is one of the worst hitting catchers in all of baseball, pretty piss poor framing wise as well. So I think Alvarez is going to be the one to take over this role and absolutely run with it. He has some swing and miss to his game, and the zone contact hasn't been great, but the power potential makes his ceiling sky high, especially at the catcher position. And finally, the last guy, the numbers aren't pretty, but I'm going with Ezekiel Tovar of the Rockies, 32% rostered on the season. 227, 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in, a stolen base now, and a weighted runs created plus of disgusting 59. Over the last 2 weeks, Tovar has really figured things out. He's hitting 302. He has 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and a 923 OPS. Also, nice little nugget that he got moved up into the 2-hole today for the Rockies against the Pirates. His baseball savant page is one of the ugliest in all of baseball, and he's striking out too much, but his max exit velo is up from last season. While I was writing for this video, Tovar stole his first career base after walking to get on. Stealing bases and walking are just 2 things he hasn't been able to do much of so far this season. Like Alvarez, Tovar is super young, another 21-year-old, and I think he's starting to figure things out in the big leagues. Every day he is up. I was on vacation, I was searching and said, I'm not getting it done at the shortstop position, and I went back to pick up Ezekiel Tovar. He stole 17 bases in 66 games in AA last season, but didn't steal any more throughout his 14 games at AAA in the big leagues to end the year. His ISO of 227 at AA last year also isn't super indicative of his skill set, but shows that he has some of the pop that can play at the big league level, especially at Coors Field. I liked him in the preseason. I had to part ways due to some poor performance, but I am back on the Ezekiel Tovar train. Thank you guys for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Done for the week. I will see you guys on Monday.